Anansi, the Spider of Wisdom. Part 1. Anansi was a sly spider. He knew it, and everyone told him so. He was always tricking people and getting into mischief. After each trick, the people would say, "Anansi, when will you take our advice and learn to be a wise spider?" Anansi always replied, "Your advice is no good. I will not stop." But one day, Anansi decided he was tired of playing tricks. He thought, "My wish is to become the wisest spider in the land. Then people will come to me for advice." So he came up with one final trick to do just that. Anansi went home and grabbed a large empty gourd with a hole at the top. Then he went around the village gathering wisdom from all the wise people. When he came calling, the villagers were surprised that all Anansi wanted was advice. Hoping that Anansi would use it, they happily gave him all the wisdom they had. Anansi collected the words of wisdom into the gourd like raindrops. He told the villagers how grateful he was for their gifts and then moved on to the next home. He thought, "Soon I will have all the wisdom to myself, and I will stun the villagers with all that I know. In no time, they will come to me for advice." Part 2. After the third day, the gourd was filled to the top with drops of wisdom. Anansi was very pleased with his work. "What a splendid collection of wisdom," he said. "I'm sure to be the wisest creature in the village." Of course, Anansi was a selfish spider. Not wanting to share his wisdom, he decided to hide the gourd. But where? Anansi looked high and low for a safe hiding place. Then he found a tall tree with branches so long they seemed to touch the sky. He thought, "Aha! That is a perfect spot. No one will think of looking in a tree for wisdom." So Anansi strapped the gourd to his back and began to climb up the tree. He soon realized that a gourd filled with wisdom is very heavy. Halfway up the tree, he began to slow down. He started to groan and moan as the large load bounced around on his back. Down below, Anansi saw a group of children who had begun to romp on the grass around the tree. He tried to hide, but they had already seen him. "Hello, Anansi," said one little girl. "What are you doing in that tree?" "Hello," he replied. "I'm practicing my climbing." "Be quick," she shouted. "It looks like it's going to rain." Part 3. Anansi looked up at the sky and saw dark clouds. He knew that stormy weather was coming. He tried harder and harder to reach the top of the tree where the gourd would be safe. But no matter how much he tried, Anansi could not go any farther. He settled on a branch to take a rest and set the gourd down next to him. Anansi looked over at the village and started to think of all the wisdom the villagers had shared. He remembered how delighted they were to share their words of wisdom with him. Suddenly, Anansi put two of his long, thin arms into the gourd. He pulled out drops of wisdom and began to sprinkle them all over the land. As he did this, it started to rain. The drops from Anansi's gourd began to mix with raindrops from the sky. The winds caught them and blew them far and wide. In every corner of the world, drops of wisdom began to rain down. And that is how wisdom spread to villages and towns all over the world. Even today, every time it rains, the people of the village think of Anansi, the wisest spider they had ever known.